Alright, so we're looking here at chart 137, cage, string and cage connectivity. This right here, this guy right here is the key of, it is in the key of C. And the reason why it's in the key of C is because the low E is got a 3 on it. So if the low E has a 3 on it, you know that it means that the low E is the third in the scale. Okay, so that would mean that we're in the key of C there, so there'd be a C-shaped C. Okay, so you can use your ear to figure out that we're in C there. So this particular chart, and we're just reviewing this chart, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. This chart is got a lot of stuff that is in the key of C. All right, now this particular drawing here, string patterns, remember when you see the word pattern, it means it's going to be P-fourths tuning. P-fourths tuning is all perfect fourths. So instead of going like this, P-fourths tuning would be if you tune these two strings up, so it'd be okay. So that's P-fourths tuning, and when you tune like that, there's no more A shape, there's no more D shape, everything's E shape. Okay, it's badly out of tune there because it didn't hold its tune. We'll bring it back down. It'll hold its tune because a string will hold its tune when it's going back down. So that's it. You know, that's the P4 tuning. And again, I'll explain to, and I know it may be confusing. It certainly was challenging to me, and I've been doing this almost for a year here. And I decided to teach these lessons for a year. So when we've got the and it could even be longer, but when we've got the lessons done, I'm going to have like 1,010-minute videos up there. So there's plenty of material to choose from. I tend to not want to look up, well, let me just say this. I list my videos as what chart number and what lesson number. I don't have the titles of the videos searchable, and some of my experimental names for things like string patterns, you may or may not find other material on this. So stuff is one of a kind. That doesn't mean that people haven't been doing this stuff in their head for hundreds of years as they played. It's just they never had computers. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have graphics programs. They might have drawn it out and everything, but it might have just been for themselves. Similar to the way I would make notes for myself. Like in the middle of the night, I'll get up, get the pad, and write some stuff down. And then the next day I'll make a chart out of it. So anyway, getting back to what we were talking about here, these are the string patterns. Now this is how one would go to the other. So let's look at the 3, 4, 5 up here in the key of C. So these are in the key of C, by the way, but this isn't in the key of C. But you notice the same intervals here: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, okay, 2, 3, 4. These are the same intervals. Now you don't have to start, this doesn't have to be the bottom string, because look at all these. There's 10 of them here, I think. Okay, so there's 5 cage shapes, C, G, D, A, and E. So there's each one of them twice gives us a full 6 string interval: 3 to 3, 6 to 6, 2 to 2, 5 to 5, 7 to 7. So this is not it drawn in the key of C intentionally. So that's what this chart is, and we're going to advance from this chart here. This is how you do the pattern stack. Okay, and what is the pattern stack? Let's just look at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. So from the fret nut we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, so E would be the third, F would be the fourth, G would be the fifth. What is that now? E, it goes to A. A would be the sixth, B would be the seventh, and C would be the root. So that's that particular pattern. And then we go into the next pattern up, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the 7 wants to go over in the P4 tuning. Okay? Now the problem is, so we go 2, 3, 2. Let's get a good capo on it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now the 7 would want to go over. Alright, so it does go over, and we can access that 7. And the only reason we can access that 7 in the key of C right there, it's also true with the other keys in other ways. But in this case, it's the 7, because in the key of C, when we do the guitar tuning, when we tune our guitar to a third at the end, at the last top two strings there, this is what we get. Alright? So we can access that. It's actually like that. Okay? And remember, everything else goes away. Everything else goes away. So we're not looking at anything else at this point. Because we don't want to be confused. We can't afford to be confused at this point. So this is what happens when we tune the fifth from the bottom, and then the sixth goes to a fourth from there. So it's a fourth, a fourth, a fourth, a third. 5 to 7 is a third, and 7 to 3 is another fourth. So that 7's brought over for us because of the tuning. So that's convenient. They did it on purpose when they made the tuning the way it was. Oh, sorry. That's one way to clear the board. When they made the tuning a third interval between I call it the fourth and the fifth string. Most people call it the third and the second string. They didn't just do that. I've heard that was just for your fingers to have an easier time. In actuality, it was to bring, I believe it was to bring the seventh into the diatonic scale, so that we can play the entire diatonic scale in the key of C. Okay, so there's that was obviously one of the reasons why it was done, or one of the benefits they had of doing it. So this is drawn in the key of C. This is the string circle again that I made, and it just shows that if you start on the C, if we assign a shape to each of these 3 note patterns, then this one would get the C shape, because in C this is on the bottom. The G shape would be the 6/7 root. Okay, so we have up here the tripentatonic version of the cage. Now, why do we have the tripentatonic? What does a tripentatonic version give us? Let's look. So the C box is from the E to the G, right? So it gives us C, F, G, but it's an E-shaped